Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, the Sarthak Show, where we discuss about tech, career, product and life. And today we have a very interesting video in the MySQL playlist. And we'll go and deep dive into understand what are database and database management systems. So in the previous video, I gave you a brief context about file-based systems, what are the problems with those file-based systems. And now we are going to understand what is databases and how DBMS helps in them. So one of the things that I understand is you have to follow 4 steps with a database, which is the defining part of it. Like you have to define actually what are the information that you are going to store, what is the data type of the information that you are going to store, in what format you are going to store. That is one of the key component of database. Then there is construction part of it, which is basically storing the right data in that so basically storage of the data. It is done by the help of a DBMS, a database management system. But yes, database involves the storage of information as well. The third part is manipulating, which is where you have to understand you can query data out of it. So whenever you want some data, whenever you want to request a very specific data from that database, or you can get that data, right? I want to know some of the instance, or let's say this roll number student, or maybe list of students from this class, or maybe toppers list, or maybe number of students who scored this in English, and so on and so forth. How you can query the data, right? The last part is the sharing part of it. So what is sharing exactly? It's the access that you share with the other users. That is defined by it. So a database can have multiple people accessing it. So that is why sharing is there. You like multiple people can simultaneously use and consume the database and work on it. So one can add inputs to it, one can query data right away, and so on and so forth. Now we are going to understand what are the key components which gives us an advantage over file-based system. So basically all the cons of file-based systems which we resulted in the last video are going to be pros for database and DBMS. So with our DBMS, what we are going to do, we are able to control the data redundancy. So you don't have to separate new files which are redundant by nature. There's a single source of truth, that database, which is being managed by the DBMS. And you don't have to create redundant data. If you are using and if you are doing everything right from the right set of things and right approach, there won't be redundant data in that database. Data sharing. So again, as I mentioned, you can share the data so multiple people can directly access to that. You don't need multiple copies of the file. So if I want to do, and my friend also want to do, another colleague wants to access the database, we can directly do that. We don't have to maintain a copy of it. The data is shared across the 3 of us, and there is control on that database. The integrity constraints, there is an enforcement on the integrity constraints. So basically what I mean by that is data is integral by nature. You cannot have this kinds of issues that I am looking at different data, other person is looking different data. It's in a broken format where the data type is mentioned string, but I am getting some date of different dates or for column. Name column has mobile number, and so on and so forth. If you are not making the mistake as a manual error, the system will not do this kind of problem with you. So you won't have those problems where the integrity is there. And another problem is the issues that you face with the file-based systems that won't happen over here. So integrity will be maintained, and you will be able to handle the concurrency on that part as well. Last part is restriction of unauthorized access. So a limited people will have access to the database, and they will have their specific permissions. What I mean by that is, let's say I only will have permission to create the database. Another person will have the permission to maybe enter the data into the database. Another user might have permission like enter and view the details of the database. There will be third person, this has access to only to view the database, right? So these are different permissions that you can control for a database and can put you to towards your own advantage. That's the best part of it. So there is authorization and restriction for unauthorized access. That is being managed with our database management system, that you have the access and you have what kind of access that you have, right? So this is going to be an add-on to it. Database management systems also provide us backup and recovery options. I'm not going to emphasize too much on this point, but yes, they provide you backup and recovery options. So once the database is down, if you have set up a backup, you can recover it, and so on and so forth. You can do some changes, and the consistency integrity is maintained on that part. So yeah, that is the main point. So by this video, I was able to explain you what is database and what is database management system and how it is better from my file-based system. In the subsequent videos, I will focus on MySQL, what is SQL, and so on and so forth. So folks, I want to give you one very big announcement. Newton School has started with their own full stack development course. They introduce more about full stack, and this is the best moment for you. They are teach you everything from learn everything about full stack development, front end, back end, and databases, and everything from scratch. And the best part of that is it's a zero fee upfront course, so you don't have to pay anything for joining this course and start. And also you're going to learn about projects, different things in this. You're going to build some very cool, awesome project for your resume, for your everything, for learning part as well. And the last bit, this is going to be very helpful for you guys, is that they are also going to get you placed at startups and MNCs. So they are going to assist you for your placements, for your jobs as well. You are going to get startups, MNCs, and everything. So what's the best deal that you're going to learn, and you're going. So yeah. So you can check out the link in the description box below. It has all the information, all the context, and you can know what they are teaching and what the one. So stay tuned to that, and please check out the link in the description below. And today I'm going to give you an extension in the MySQL playlist about databases and what are databases and why we have moved from here. Giving you a brief context about databases is something like it's a structured collection of information. We generally store data, and that data in a structured format is called as databases. Previously, what we used to do in history, we used to use a file-based system, which is called, in this file-based system, what happens, usually a data is stored in a file, a single file or something, let's say multiple pages, multiple sheets and everything. And there are multiple issues with those file systems, right? So that's why we moved toward an actual database management system. So how users, people were used to store data in file-based system and created some problems. So let's say assuming you are handling an office organization, right? So multiple people will have the file. So it will be data redundancy. That same file is not common across everyone. Everyone has their own copy of file, which is creating multiple copies, and that is causing data redundancy. So if I have to work, I will copy that file on my system and start working on that. Again, somebody else will copy that file and start working on that. The other problem was data inconsistency. Let's say everybody copied the file till 10th row. I made an entry in the 11th file. Somebody else made a change. Somebody else did a sum or math calculation, extra column, something. I didn't do that. So my data will be inconsistent to their data, right? So that resulted in inconsistency if we use file-based system. The third part was data access. You have to remember which file was stored, which is the latest version of that file. How do you move towards that file, right? So that access to data was not easy. And then another problem was security. So anybody can make a copy of that file, right? So file was not secure enough. And then apparently you don't have a access control kind of a list that only these people would know. At best you can put a password, but it won't result into absolute security over the file, because once a copy has been made, you can remove the password and everything. So security problems are there. And then last thing was difficult concurrent access. You cannot do simultaneous access on that same file. Same file, I cannot make an entry and other people cannot make an entry, or maybe simultaneously we are making changes in that file. That concurrency is not handled in the file-based system. So that's why we move towards the database management system. In the next set of videos, you will understand what is database management system and how your database, which is exactly a collection of information, is handled. And apparently what current follow that the things that we follow is, in layman terms, a database would be collection of a lot of tables, giving you an example again with the office, there could be a table with employees, like employee ID and name. There could be another table with employee and their salary structure. Then another table would be employee and their working locations, working hours, and again there will be another table which will be resulting in their sitting capacity, the sitting position, which is the designated seat or the conference room and everything. There will be another list of there will be a table with a list of items will be mentioned as inventory. Let's say how many desks are there, monitors are there, conference room, and so on and so forth. So all of these different tables combine and make a one database, and we are going to understand how you can create and use these databases, how you can create tables in these databases in the next set of videos. I hope you enjoyed this video and you will follow and subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, and I will see you in the next video with more theoretical information and commands and syntax that are used in MySQL for these structure. And till then, take care, bye bye.